slower than my nan, but can't say that. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast. This is the first ever wrestling podcast. Um, wrestling podcast. I'm here with David Hazard,
Okay, what's going on, guys?
and today we'll just be discussing stuff about the Royal Rumble. Obviously, talking about a few matches that are on the card. The Seth Rollins Roman match, Brock and Bobby Lashley, and also the Rumble match in general. So, and also we're going to be discussing Moxley's tease and return, maybe, and is Liv Morgan overrated? But how you doing, bro? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Hope everyone in the stream's doing well as well. Obviously, big up Mason for having me on. So, yeah.
So, but first up, we're going to discuss the Rumble. Obviously, so far there's some good matches hyped up for the Rumble. Obviously, we got the whole Rumble that's happening, of course. Teased by some returns that are happening in the Women's Rumble. We don't know about the men's yet.
Yeah.
We've got two great singles matches, two World Championship matches. Look on paper, look fantastic. Roman and Steph, and Bobby Lashley and Brock. But I'm going to start with you. What's your opinion on the whole card so far on the Rumble?
Yeah, the thing I love about the Royal Rumble is that every year I have to tune into it, bro. Like, obviously, I probably can't watch it live because of like school and that, but I've always got to watch it. You get me? Because the anticipation, there's always like surprises in terms of the Royal Rumble entrance, and even the matches are quite good as well. But yeah, it's a good card. Obviously, I haven't really kept up with WWE, but it's looking great. Like Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar, that's a match us as fans have been trying to see for years. Man, if I got at the Royal Rumble. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, obviously two heels and former Shield brethren. That's going to be very interesting as well. So yeah, I think it's a great card so far, man. And obviously we've got other matches as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and especially the men's Rumble, bro. Like you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, on paper it's looking very good. Oh, Jesse's here. So, but yeah, everyone, welcome back. He's not been on the channel for ages, but he's back today. Southport, aka Jesse, how you doing, bro?
Hey, can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro.
Yeah.
My laptop just stopped working on me, so I had to switch to a backup. I'm using my phone.
Right, that's cool. Yeah,
that's cool.
Fine,
but we're all discussing about the Rumble, obviously, we've discussed in the card, so we'll go to you. What was your opinion on, obviously, the Rumble and the match card so far?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think WWE played themselves, especially with all the releases, and I think you could see that, especially with the Women's Rumble. Like Mickie James was total desperation. You know, I enjoy Mickie James myself. Don't get me wrong, but the fact that they're willing to go to Impact to get wrestlers, I think shows everything. But I like what's going on with Roman and with Seth Rollins. As you guys know, I stopped watching wrestling before the Shield happened, so I've been catching up and I've been watching stuff with them and Ambrose. And I actually, not even joking with you, I just saw Seth's turn on the Shield like a week before they got announced, so it's all like fresh in my mind now. So I'm looking forward to it. And you know, the Rumble's always fun. It's the one I got to go watch when I was in Boston. They had the Rumble in Boston. I went to that, so it's always had a special place in my heart. But I'm looking forward to it so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, yeah, the card looks brilliant. I think the build-up so far for the Roman and Steph has been brilliant. The Rumble match, the men's Royal Rumble, they're building it up with. So far, they're not building it up, but they're building it with obviously Johnny from Jackass and Sami Zayn so far, which is adding a little bit hype to it. Like, I don't mind that. Like, as long as he doesn't have a WrestleMania match, I'm cool with that because it's a one-off appearance. You know, Bill's. It's a celebrity match. He doesn't need to do much, so I get that. But the Women's Rumble, I think I'm disappointed with that a little bit because like they're spoiling it. You know what I mean? They're spoiling the entrance when the Rumble is supposed to be very surprising. And again, yeah, getting Mickie James and Summer Rae. Like Summer Rae. No, she's just she's a Eva Marie wannabe. Like, are we just going to give these shit wrestlers a go again? Like, we gave Eva Marie a second chance, and now we're giving Summer Rae another chance on the Rumble. Like, and again, when the Rumble got announced from the women's, I was like, how the hell are they going to do 30 women? Because I don't even think there's like 15 on the main roster. Like, we see the same women every week. Like, Raw, we see Bianca, Liv, and Becky. On SmackDown, we see Charlotte, Naomi, and Sonya Deville. Like, that's 6. Like, we don't really see much. So, again, I probably agree with you. I think the Mickie James situation, like, she's come back again. She's left. Like, she got released twice, I believe. And now she's coming back again for a Rumble. Like, going to TNA,
like Jesse said, it's desperation. So they obviously
remember,
in it. So
if you remember, TNA and WWE used to be rivalries, but now obviously Impact is not as big of a company. WWE thinks, oh, we'll team up, and I think they're doing the exact same thing with AEW. Like, they're trying to get AEW to partner up with them, which I don't get personally, because like, it's honestly, why would you partner with AEW? First of all, the superstars, they've been talking shit about your company for ages. Now you want to be all nice to them when you've seen the promos, you've seen the storylines. Like, so I think it's just desperation. Like, they need big superstars in that Rumble. Like, honestly, I don't think they can rely on NXT superstars. So I don't think a lot of people will give that reaction to the NXT superstars unless it's like to the big superstars. But no, in terms of the Rumble, look, I'm looking forward to Bobby Lashley and Brock. I think the promo they did was quite cool. Like, I like the Bobby Lashley
the knock joke
last week where he beat up. Yeah, absolutely brilliant that was. And I'm going to be honest, Brock Lesnar, this is probably Brock Lesnar's best run by far. Like, Brock Lesnar's a face on paper. Maybe it doesn't make him look any more destructible, but it's actually made him more of a story, a character, more of a more of a person that you can like now. And I honestly, I'm enjoying it. It's a bit of a shame though, of he had to win the WWE Championship. Like, I think that booking was a bit disappointing, because I don't think Big E should have just lost the champion due to coronavirus of Roman Reigns. I think if they made Brock Lesnar lose or not even get pinned, that won't make him weak. Like, Seth Rollins or Kevin Owens can get pinned. Like, it still makes Brock Lesnar look strong because he's not getting pinned. But yeah, on paper he's looking good. But yeah, obviously the Women's Rumble, bit of a disappointing spoilers. But I want to get on to the next one. Speaking of the Shield, Jon Moxley. Now, the last 2 weeks, bit of call out, bit of gossip, bit of teaser, not teaser, maybe not. Like, Jon Moxley could be coming back by the looks of it, by the sounds of it, because, like, honestly, what is your opinion on the Moxley maybe coming back to return? Davey, what's your opinion on Moxley, like, coming back? Do you think that will happen or not? To be honest,
I'd love to see Moxley back. Obviously, as Dean Ambrose in it, but I'll be so honest with you. I don't see it happening, man. Because obviously he's under contract with AEW. He said he doesn't want to go back to WWE anytime soon. So unless it's some sort of miracle, because even if you're under contract, like, there's no partnership between WWE and AEW, so I don't see no kind of crossover. Like, the same thing with Cody Rhodes. We've been hearing about him trying to leave AEW and go to WWE. I don't see it happening, man. I just think it's unrealistic. Like, I honestly don't know. I haven't caught up with WWE yet, but I've heard there's been mentions of Jon Moxley on WWE TV, so maybe there is a small chance that it could happen, but I just don't see it happening, man, if I'm being honest. But yeah, Jesse, what's your thoughts on that, bro? On Jon Moxley?
That I had not heard, and I don't know why he would go back. Like, the way Mickie James was released and how they kind of sent her stuff back to her in a bag. Have you heard about that? They sent the stuff back in a trash bag. Like, I hope she charged them like $1 million to appear. Like, the way that WWE keeps they keep screwing themselves with their own choices. And Ambrose was a big deal for that. Like the way he left and the success he's had as Moxley in the AEW, I don't even know why he would entertain going back even for one night, personally.
Yeah,
it's
true.
like, it is, isn't it? Because like, what are they going to do with him afterwards? Like, if they've got to use him for one night, are they just going to bring him for that Shield reunion for one night when it's not going to build up to anything? Because he's not going to stay in there for another match or anything. Like, you never say never. Like, honestly, if Moxley comes back, that's a good, I think that could boost WWE because, they've released these people, but are these people willing to give WWE another chance? Some of them have not. Fuck's sake, what was my...
The thing is, with him trying to be, he wouldn't be Moxley. He couldn't be Moxley in WWE. He'd have to be Ambrose again. Like the way he comes out of the crowd and he's kind of like feral. Like, I know he was a lunatic in WWE, but WWE is trying to paint themselves as a family-friendly product. Everything that makes Moxley wouldn't work in WWE.
Exactly, man. And we haven't seen Dean Ambrose in what, 3-4 years or something like that. So I think it'll be. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, exactly. Plus, like you said, he won't get the same freedom as he does in AEW as well. So I don't. Yeah, he's not a big advocate of that. So I don't think he'll come back.
Plus, I can't remember if it's Khan or if it's Laurinaitis, but he has like serious beef with one of those two guys. Like in his memoir, he straight up called him a rat and like a little bitch. So
yeah, he ain't got a good relationship with WWE Creative because obviously they had that stupid storyline with him having to wear a gas mask to the arena when he and I think he turned on Seth Rollins in it when Roman Reigns had leukemia and like other. And
stuff. Then the TV thing, like he was trying to unscrew the TV and it blew up on him. Like it's
ridiculous, man. And I think that's one of the reasons why he left the great problems.
But while Mason's trying to get his setup fixed, you know what's embarrassing? I have to admit, an embarrassing thing about me. Every time I see Lita, a part of me still hates her a little bit for the Matt Hardy Edge storyline. I'm 33 years old, and I know that was real, and it became a work. Like Matt Hardy integrated it, but like me, my boy is Jeff, but my second favorite's been Matt Hardy. Like I loved them too. And then when Lita joined, that was the group, man. And when she started having an affair with Edge and everything, and then it worked into a storyline. I thought it was like more mature and above that. But when they showed her, I was like, boo! Like without even thinking about it.
Yeah, the Hardys, they were definitely one of the best tag teams of all time. Obviously, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy could reunite in AEW, I think. Have you heard talks on that?
Man. I was telling you, like, I wish Edge wasn't with WWE because a Christian Edge and the Hardy Boys fight on AEW, man. They're all really good now. Like I know Matt's showing his body, right? Like I don't know if you saw the latest match with Matt Hardy, but he's showing the wear and tear that he put his body through. I can't remember who he was wrestling now, but it was tough to watch. You could see that he's slowing down, but still, it'd be good.
Yeah, all our childhood heroes getting old, man. It's crazy. Jeff Hardy in his fucking 40s. I can't believe it.
Can you guys hear me?
Guy. Yeah. Can,
But Mason, just to touch to your point, am I wrong? Is Charlotte Flair entering the Rumble?
I don't think Mason can hear us.
Do you know that? Is Charlotte Flair entering the Rumble?
I have no clue, bro.
Because she can't, right? Like, what happens if she wins? Who's going to challenge her? Who's going to challenge her at WrestleMania, right? Like, I swear. Isn't she the SmackDown champion? The SmackDown Women's champion?
I think so, but say she does enter the Rumble, which is very unlikely. Say she does win it as well. I don't think she'll probably challenge the Royal Women's champion, and then she could be a double crown champion at WrestleMania. Because obviously,
you know what?
Yeah,
you might be onto something because that's Becky Lynch right now, and them. They had the heated promotion leading up to day one. That could be it, man. because Becky was trying to become Becky 2 belts again.
Mm.
Yeah.
I've heard. So what's happening with Bianca Belair? Because oh my god, bro, I was so pissed when she got buried at SummerSlam.
Man, don't get me started on Bianca Belair. So they're currently, in my opinion, burying their 2 best talents they got right now in Big E and Bianca Belair, and like she got squashed. It turns out that Sasha.
My laptop's been really pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. I had to switch to my phone, man. Nah, I think they're in the process of burying Belair in the mid card. Like, you know, she was about to win a triple threat match against Doudrop and Liv Morgan, and then Becky pulled her out and slammed her through a table. Like, made her look so weak, and they continually make her look weak. I don't know. I'm frustrated right now. Like, you had a 5-way, and Big E was not the one that should have gotten pinned, in my opinion. If they wanted to give it to Brock, they could have pinned like KO. They could have pinned Seth Rollins, and they could have kept Big E for like, you know, down the line. But they made him look so weak in that title match, in my opinion. Like, it was a good match, it was fun, but Big E should have not ate that pin, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't understand. It's always the top talents, like people that have loads of potential. Especially, it's always the stars that come up from NXT, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Like, you got Aleister Black who's in AEW now, Andrade, like so many superstars that came from NXT had so much potential, and then Vince McMahon just puts them in the fucking bin. And then,
well, did you hear the story? Did you hear the story that Naomi was told that she had to peel it back? Like, she was too good? Yeah. But he's busy, like, trying to make... He's, like, trying to force Austin Theory to becoming, like, the top promotion while he's got established stars. Like, there's a report now that he just doesn't have any plans for Finn Balor. Like...
Yeah, I've seen that on Snapchat as well. I was like, what?
How can you not give that guy something to do? He is one of the most, like, over wrestlers, superstars. Like, the crowd eats him up the second he goes out there, and they can't figure out something to do with him.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
I don't get that. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
We can. Oh.
Right, sorry about that. My laptop's been a pain. My internet has been a really pain, guys, so I apologise if any issues happening. But these two are doing well to take over. But what we're going on about?
We'll just...
What are we going on about then?
Kind of riffing about WWE's, like, the way that they have to, like, constantly... They book themselves into a corner, and then the just the idiot ways that they try to get out of it afterwards.
Yeah. I get you about that, because Vince, if you think about it, they blame it on the, like, with some NXT superstars. Some of them gone on the roster, and you see Vince just changed them.
Across,
you see,
like,
carrying across was awful.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah,
like,
that was horrific.
I have no idea what that was. Like, they got rid of Scarlett. They put him in that weird gimp suit, like, and then, you know,
Well, speaking of Scarlett, I saw in a Renee podcast, they were going to put Scarlett as a superstar instead of a manager, but she wants to be a manager. She was popular for NXT for being the manager of Cross. Cross was popular with Scarlett. The entrance was brilliant with Scarlett. The gimmick was brilliant. And you thought to put fucking Scarlett as a wrestler. This is what I mean. Like, they did it with Lana. They've done it with so many managers. Like, they don't need to be wrestlers. They can be managers.
Drake Maverick.
Yeah, Drake Maverick. He went from a manager to a wrestler. Like, it's awful, absolutely awful. And the NXT superstars are getting wasted too much. Like, there was some Aleister Black, for me, had the potential, and I think his gimmick was actually going fine before he got released. But you're telling me you're releasing him on budget cuts? Like, budget cuts. And that's the one thing I do not like about WWE and their stupid thing. They're saying it's budget cuts. You're one of the richest companies of all time. You're a billionaire company, right? But the problem is, like, you've got half of these part-timers like Bill Goldberg who are not good at wrestling. He's had one good match in, what, 3 or 4 years, and that's why you might be losing money a little bit because of that. And I don't think it's losing money. It's the fact that you're giving money to awful superstars in the past. Like, it's absolutely pathetic. Like, no wonder the likes of Adam Cole went to AEW before going to the main roster. This is why
Yeah, you
Adam Cole went
can't
there.
blame them, man.
And Johnny Gargano. This is why those two are gone. Because they're not gonna. They don't want to. They know what's gonna happen next. They've seen it all before.
I mean, the fact that they ruined the Fiend says all you need to know. Like, they had gift wrapped one of the cooler gimmicks I'd seen in a long time, personally. Gift wrapped, and they have him be squashed by Goldberg, and then one RKO, and he's done. Like, you gotta, like, you can't say that he's no sells everything. You know,
Yeah.
Seth Rollins could not defeat him in the cell, but Randy could hit him with one RKO. Come on, dude.
Yeah, it's
Like, Daniel
ridiculous.
Bryan
I don't
couldn't
get the
do
thinking. I don't get the thinking process behind all these creative decisions, man. Like, all these superstars are just so talented. They just throw them in the waste. Like, I don't get it, man.
Well, you know, Fightful reported that it's pretty much Khan's company right now. That Vince is still the figurehead, but the major decisions are coming from Khan, and you can see it because Braun Strowman is like exactly what Vince McMahon looks for, and the fact that he got released just like that kind of proves to me that I think there's like a power shift in the background that we're not seeing, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a bit weird that Braun Strowman got released. Like, Braun Strowman's one of the biggest superstars, and the Fiend, and those two get released just like that. Right? It's absolutely god awful. Like,
And it's like they were difficult to work with. Yeah. Did you see the crap they were given? I'd be mad too.
Like, Bray Wyatt, I feel bad the most because he went from a kick-ass gimmick to one of the most best gimmicks. Like, his gimmick before the Fiend, they eat it with the world. I like that. I still think it was great. They ruined it a bit though, but he still tried to reconnect with it. And I thought he did well with Matt Hardy before he's absent. I thought he was brilliant with Matt Hardy. And then the Fiend, they build him up. They beat him. He beats Finn Balor. He beats Seth by DQ and looks fucking unstoppable in the cell. And then you lose to Goldberg because you wanted a Goldberg and Roman match. No offense.
That's awful as well, man.
And it backfired because Roman got COVID. Wasn't going to compete because of the COVID pandemic. So you did that all for nothing. Like, I don't get that, and that's what I mean. The Fiend getting released, I think has actually buried WWE understand because the Fiend on Raw was actually quite watchable. I would watch him every week just for that. But now, what is there really to watch about Raw? Like, I think the women's division's on the tunnel. Like, that has been, and we're going to get to one of those women's superstars in a minute because I need to really, like, discuss this superstar. And I think these two know what I'm on about because these fanboys and all that are getting really pissing me off. But, so yeah, what is there to watch? Like, the women's roster, look. 2 years ago, they were made. 3 years ago, they were made in WrestleMania, right? And it was a huge turnaround. I think since 2016, we saw a bit of a nice little turnaround from the women's roster. Then the pandemic happened, or the Royal Rumble. I would say the Royal Rumble in 2020, when it went hate shit. Because that Rumble, Charlotte Flair won the Rumble, which shouldn't have happened. Honestly, it should have been Shayna Baszler. Like, and that's the problem with Charlotte Flair, right? And that's the problem I have with WWE. Every year, or every 2 months, or 1 month, you see Charlotte Flair either in a title match, or you're getting her in the title win.
Like, build some wrestlers, build some female superstars. There's more female superstars in that locker room to build than Charlotte Flair or Liv Morgan or Bianca Belair. Because I'm going to say this right now, people moan at the same females getting matches every month, but Liv Morgan got two or three title matches in a row, and everyone starts moaning because she lost and she deserves another title shot. But if that was another one, they would get mad. Like, this women's roster is just like backfired. But what's your opinion, Davey, on the women's roster? Because I probably think you've got some good points to say, you two.
Yeah, I haven't ever since. Bro, I think one of the best match from the women's roster was, although she lost, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. I think it was Money in the Bank, and she lost the title in it. Yeah, and it just showed the favoritism that they had in Charlotte Flair. Obviously, Ric Flair has been released. When was he released? I think July. Yeah. That was before he got released in it. So obviously they're still pushing her, though, aren't they, Charlotte Flair? But yeah, man, like I think that was when
she's a champion.
That was when the women's division died, and then just to put the nail in the coffin, when fucking Becky Lynch. Obviously, we love the return in that, but then to get Bianca Belair buried in like what? Was it a couple seconds or a few?
30 seconds. 30
seconds, bro. It was ridiculous, and that's when I stopped paying interest into the women's division and possibly like WWE as a whole, because I've just stopped watching. I've moved over to AEW, man. So yeah, I just think the women's division's in the ground right now because of these stupid creative decisions and pushing the same stupid superstars over and over again.
Absolutely, like.
Yeah, man.
Like, I like Becky Lynch, but she just came back and she's already given the title shot. Like, I know people miss Becky Lynch, and don't get me wrong, we do miss Becky Lynch. Like, last year when she was gone, the women's division was a bit downhill after that. But like, I think Becky Lynch power, honestly, in my opinion, since was WrestleMania in the WrestleMania in lockdown. I think that's when Becky Lynch's character really maybe starting to annoy me a bit, because like, this is the one superstar I feel bad for, and that's Shayna freaking Baszler, mate. Like, she went from biting Becky Lynch's neck and busted her open and beating the fuck out of Becky Lynch every single night on Raw to getting beat by a roll-up.
Yeah, now she's just Sonya's lackey now. That's all she is.
Oh, yeah. Shayna Baszler. Like, what is going on? Like, it's been very, like, there's so many superstars I can name that's been buried. And this what our point was earlier. NXT superstars, name me one person except from Seth Rollins, Big E, and maybe Kevin Owens. I want, name me someone currently on that roster who's from NXT, right? Name me someone from the past of NXT who's been successful on the roster, in the main roster.
Sasha Banks?
Well, someone who's not on the roster, basically, someone's left, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. Exactly. There's no one in it. There is no one. This is why people leave. And the point of, and also there's still people on that on the main brand that's getting wasted. Like, I can name Rhea Ripley, Nikki Cross, Shayna Baszler, Bianca Bella is starting to lose her character a bit.
Yeah, that they've buried her already.
Finn fucking Balor, and again, like, great decisions is annoying me. This is the booking, and Vince McMahon and I knew when Finn came back SmackDown, right? I knew that was the end. I knew Finn should have gone left the company, because we've seen now since he's come back, apart from the title shot from Roman, and we haven't seen him. Like, Finn Balor was big before he came to WWE. I mean, he was big in Japan. One of the biggest superstars in Japan was Shinsuke and AJ Styles.
Yeah. People are forgetting he was the first Universal Champion as well, bro.
And he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now look at him.
And he got injured, and he had to vacate, and then he just really never got another chance. And then, he had a banger of a match with Roman at Extreme Rules, and then they literally cut the rope from under him, and that's like almost like poetic justice of how they treat their superstars. Like, they literally cut their feet out from under them at any given moment, and then they want you to invest in these people. And it's like, how can I invest in these characters when you just you bury them at a moment's notice and you release them for nothing?
Yeah, man.
I get you. Like, that's what I mean. The book. That's why we mentioned. That's why I brought this up now into the podcast, guys. The booking of NXT superstars are disgusting, and the booking of some of these superstars, like Ricochet, is also one of them. I am a massive fan of Ricochet.
The same here.
I watched his match with John Morrison in lockdown. I don't know, April or May. Currently, maybe one of my favorite Raw matches was how talented those two are. And John Morrison's gone, and Ricochet is getting buried every single week by Sheamus or something like that. Like,
dude, Mustafa Ali, how can you? That dude is talented out of his. Like, that dude, he could cut a promo. He's like really skilled. Like, he stopped doing his splash move because he was afraid he was going to break his neck. But it just shows how incredibly talented that guy can be. And they have nothing for him, but they won't release him. Yeah, he's like, if you got nothing for me, let me go. And they're like, nah. Like, I just don't get him.
I don't get that too. Like, I absolutely don't get that. Doesn't make any sense with that.
Wait, another superstar on Raw that's been like you lot probably forgotten about him by now. I don't know if he's been released or what, but do you remember Elias?
Yeah, So, Cultaholic released an article about that, and what happened was he had a gimmick change, and it reminded Vince McMahon too much of Randy Savage.
Really?
Yeah, he started looking like Randy Savage, and like legit, Vince walked in, saw him, and said no, and either he's gonna get released or they're working on a new gimmick. But you remember the whole Elias is dead promos? Did you see those?
Yeah.
Where he threw the guitar into the fire and all that. Yeah.
That gimmick here. The way he get heat from the crowd. Like, if you remember, he did a promo in Seattle. This was years ago, like 2018, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
He did a promo with KO. And
got.
Oh my god, bro! It literally gave me goosebumps. Like, I was literally watching it the other day, and I was like, oh my god, how is this guy not even at least the United States champion? Because his mic work, I know he had the guitar and all that, but that had to be one of my favorite gimmicks of like all time. I'll be so real with you, like that. He's one of my favorite wrestlers as well. Just see him wasted like this is just it's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you remember that Shinsuke is the IC champion? Because I keep forgetting. Like, it's so pointless. It's just like they're doing nothing with that title. I grew up, man. I know this is gonna sound like I'm just like a boomer here, because back in my day, but I mean, when I was growing up in wrestling, apart from the heavyweight championship, the IC title was bigged up as such a big thing, and Chris Jericho's runs with it, like, it was made to be super important. And now you see more Boogs, who I love Boogs, I have to admit, but you see way more of Boogs than you do Nakamura. By the way, did you see last week that Jeff Jarrett was on SmackDown? Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I actually saw that. Yeah, because I saw Eric Bischoff came back as well, so I was like, "Fuck it, let me just watch this."
Because they're trying, because they have no one to draw a crowd anymore. Like, I don't think it's lost on me that they brought Seth into the Universal title picture because they've buried everybody else. There's no one else to challenge Reigns right now. Like, there's no one that I could think of. Maybe Woods in the future, but there's really no one conceivable to challenge Reigns. So they had to bring in a Raw superstar.
Yeah, and same with Brock. He's on Raw at the moment. He's supposed to be on SmackDown.
Well, he's a free agent thanks to his buddy.
Oh yeah, so.
Yeah.
But even
I love. Yeah, I have to agree with you. I love this Brock Lesnar. I like when he was like in the camera. He did that big huge wink. That was hysterical. I love Brock when he's like, hey, who's knock knock? And he's like, who's there? He's like, Bobby. He's like, Bobby who? Exactly. That was hysterical. I am liking this Brock Lesnar. I liked the animal when he first came out, but this is good too.
Yeah, it's because he's actually given. I think it's because Paul Heyman basically used to be his mouthpiece, so Brock Lesnar was basically given silent treatment. Like he would not speak at all. It was just this monster. But now we're actually seeing a character from Brock Lesnar. That's what I'm liking as well, man.
Yeah, the stuff he did with Sami Zayn was pretty funny when Sami was the number one contender.
What? Sami number one contender?
Oh yeah, so there was a battle royale for the number one contender. Right before Jeff got released, because what happened was there was a battle royale in North Carolina where Jeff Hardy's from.
Yeah.
And it was Jeff Hardy supposedly won the match in his hometown, or in his home state at least. And then Sami, who rolled out of the ring earlier, came back in and was never properly eliminated, so he just tossed him over.
Oh, he tossed him over.
It was actually pretty funny. Like I know WWE has a weird thing with burying their own talent at their homes. I just don't get that. Like if you watch AEW, they let their people when they're in the home places like become superstars. Like MJF actually got cheered.
Cheered, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
In Long Island.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm sorry, it's still one of the best theme songs in my opinion is MJF's. It's so annoying, just like him. That's why I think I like it. But yeah, so Sami Zayn became the number one contender, and then Brock came out, and Brock was like talking to him in French, and they're talking like about like parts of Canada that he likes, and he literally was like, "You should have your title shot with Roman Reigns right now," and he's like, "Oh, I'm not ready," and he literally twisted his arm into accepting it. It was actually funny, and then of course Roman stomped him out, and I think Brock Lesnar interfered too. But while Mason's trying to come back and Davies, and now I just the thing about what WWE is doing is, I don't honestly get what they're trying to accomplish. Where they build up superstars, and then they go ahead and they bury them in such odd behavior, such odd ways, and I think what you're seeing, it's not just the Rumble season. I know Rumble season, a lot of people will come out and, it's always a big draw Rumble season, but the fact, Mickey James, Eric Bischoff, Jeff Jarrett, who's competing in GCW right now, I think it kind of speaks to just how much they're hurting for recognizable talent when they've really done it to themselves,
Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I'm back again. My internet's just playing up again.
That's cool. I was just trying to riff until one of you came back.
Yeah. Apologies guys. My laptop's been a pain and my Wi-Fi's just been a pain for ages. But I'm gonna get on to the final topic quickly because it's been a really good podcast. I'm definitely gonna do some more of these. I've got a whole bunch of other wrestling fans want to join in the future too. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we definitely do. We'll be doing the Rumble, hopefully Rumble reaction on base next week. Hopefully next weekend, maybe on the Sunday.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
I'm down for that. Absolutely.
But last but not least, I want to get on this discussion right now, and I've been wanting to discuss it for a long time. Is Sasha Banks and Liv Morgan overrated? Like, I know a lot of people will be like, "Matey, you can't talk about this." Oh well. But Davey, what if Davey's muted, that's fine. But Jesse, what's your? Do you think Sasha Banks and Liv Morgan is overrated in the WWE at the moment?
Sasha, no, I don't think so. I think she's really talented. Liv, I think she is, but I don't think it's necessarily her fault. She's not a great promo, right? Like when she's on the mic, it doesn't sound great, but I just think it just speaks to how they're not putting any effort into the women's division, because I think Liv Morgan could be a really decent wrestler, but all they want to focus on is just, she sounds like she's going to cry every time she's talking on the mic. Is that just me? Like I always like, it sounds like her voice is going to break. And the whole thing about WWE, the women, they either care about calling other women bitches or you're pretty and I'm not. Like, come on. Carmella trying to say Liv Morgan was ugly. Like, we're not idiots, right? Like, I mean, there's the thing. Like, I've seen Carmella. Carmella was actually becoming a decent wrestler at one point, and now she's just been reduced to a face, you know. And Sasha, I think, is an incredible talent. Like, I think Sasha's just fine. It's just, I think more it speaks to the lack of effort in the division more than on them too, personally.
Yeah, I get you. But David, what do you think? Is Sasha Banks or Liv Morgan overrated in your opinion?
I don't think Sasha Banks. She's one of my favorite women wrestlers of all time. And she's so talented, bro. Her mic work is good as well. Everything, even in the ring, she's amazing. But I'm gonna be so honest with you guys. I'm not too sure about Liv Morgan because what has she been over pushed or just underutilized?
Well,
she's being over pushed, I think.
Apparently, people and the fans are saying she isn't being pushed. She's apparently a jobber. But let's fuck off, man. Who the fuck are you?
You know what she is? I know you haven't been watching a lot, Davey.
Yeah.
She's Tony Storm. Tony Storm left. She's like, she was getting buried by Charlotte just the same way Liv is getting buried by Becky. Like, you know, I remember watching Tony Storm in NXT, and I've seen Tony Storm on the Indies, man. Like, she has one of the best finishers I've ever seen. You ever see the Storm DDT she's got? That thing, or Strong DDT, that thing is crazy, but she just got buried, and eventually she realized that nothing's working for her, so she asked for her release. That's essentially what it is for Liv Morgan. Like, Liv Morgan could conceivably be more of a threat for Becky, but they're not booking her to be that. So, and she's getting overpushed in that sense. And so I think she does come off overrated, but I don't really think it's her fault. I think it's the booking.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, like it has to do with the creative decisions and the booking in it. So yeah, that's a good point, bro.
Like, you know what's scary to me? I know you're trying to make a point. I'm sorry, but you know what's scary to me is, of all those shows, you know, because like I said, I started watching again, and I've gone back and I've seen every show in 2021 so far. Like, I really made sure to catch up. The best booked show is Crown Jewel, and that tells you everything you need to know about WWE. Because Crown Jewel, they had a king's ransom of a budget, right? Like,
yeah, 100%.
The Saudi Arabian government literally just gave them carte blanche to spend what they wanted. And they booked that show perfectly, in my opinion. Like, everything was correctly handled. Even the triple threat match with Becky Lynch, Sasha, and Bianca was fantastic. Like, it was really good. And the Hell in a Cell match between Rollins and Edge.
Rollins, that had to be the match of the night, bro, for me, personally.
Match of the year.
So the triple threat match?
No, Edge versus Rollins match.
Oh, yeah, no, that was good, yeah. And, you know, they had a female judge, which was like a major deal for Crown Jewel, and even what happened with Mansoor and Ali, and then the Olympic karate player coming out, and it was just one of the better shows. Like, I actually really liked the Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar title match, and Paul Heyman throwing the belt in between both of them. Like, it shows me that when they want to, they could still put on a good product, but then they reduce Liv Morgan to, well, Carmella says you're not pretty. It's like, yeah, famously unattractive Liv Morgan. Like, they're just so lazy with the women's roster at times, you know? Like, everyone gives AEW crap. Their women's roster is 100 times better than what's happening with the WWE. Like, they don't probably give them enough screen time. But I've been watching AEW Dark and stuff. Like, they put way more effort into the women's division than what WWE does. And the fact that I think Liv Morgan could be better, I think it's the booking's fault. And you know, I get why they did what they did with Bianca Belair and with what's her name, Becky Lynch, because Sasha Banks got sick and she couldn't make the fight. She couldn't make SummerSlam. So. And they were like, well, Becky was coming back early. She couldn't go a full match. Then have Bianca squash Carmella, like what was going to happen. And then you could have built up Carmella and Bianca, and they could have had like an incredible match at like Extreme Rules or something, you know? Like, I think it's more to do with booking, Mason. Sorry. I kind of went on a rant. I think it's more. I think it's more the fault of the booking than I think the wrestlers. I do think Liv Morgan's overrated, but I don't really think it's her fault.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think she's got to improve her mic skills, but I think she is a bit over it. I think Sasha Banks is cool, but again, I think the worst thing about those two is the fan base. Like the Sasha and Liv Morgan fan base is probably the worst out of the females. I'm gonna be honest, because I've seen a lot of shit. I think back in WrestleMania, when people were like, not too sure about Sasha Banks, people were accusing the people that was unsure about Sasha Banks racist. Like they wasn't being racist though. Like, that's going too far. And the Liv Morgan, weird with the Liv Morgan ones. They're all like boys, sim. It's like, oh my god, like. But I personally, it's Sasha Banks. She's talented, but yeah. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to end there because I'm gonna have to shoot off. But thank you for Davey and Jesse. Welcome back, Jesse. By the way, it's been a while, so it's glad to see him back. But we'll be doing more. We'll be doing more next Sunday. Obviously, go and subscribe to the Threat and Trade. Is that your YouTube channel name? On the
Yeah, that's the one I'm currently rocking with right now.
Yeah, currently rocking with. Go and check that one out. But go and subscribe to Southpaw Love Box just in case he ever, he'll definitely one day. And obviously subscribe to Davey. Big up to him. And yeah, subscribe to me, please. That'd be brilliant. But anyway, thank you for watching. Till then, I'll see you all later. Bye for now.
Big up.